Two, one, and we are doing the live thing. Welcome to Bid Nerds. Hello, my name is John Polnick. I'll give you the little thing down on the bottom so you know it's true. I have my partner coming to us live from San Francisco. There's
Good morning,
Michael
JP.
Deeb. How are you?
Good morning, JP.
Good morning. So this is another episode of Bid Nerds. Welcome to our channel. This is the place where this numbskull and I get together every morning at around 9 o'clock and talk about our top picks of the day on cars and bids and Bring a Trailer. If you're a fan of those sites and love watching auctions, trying to predict and guess what the cars will bid to or if they'll sell or where they will hammer, you have found your people. We want to hang out with you. We're here every day talking about these cars and all the weirdness that goes on in cars and bids every day. And we have a little bit of a competition, and apparently I got spanked yesterday in our predictions. What happened yesterday, Michael Deeb?
Well, really quickly, let's you. Moving on.
Sorry, you broke up there. I didn't get any of that. My bad. I don't know if the audience did, but I missed it.
Yeah. Yesterday I smashed you, so I said moving on.
Yes.
I got four of the cars right. The one that you won was the 94 Dodge Viper on Bring a Trailer. That was your sole victory of the day, but I got the BMW, the Mini, the Lotus, and the Porsche SC Cab. So,
well, let's just go over those really quick. It was a 2016 BMW 235i on cars and bids. You predicted 27, I predicted 25, and you were very close to getting that one on the money. It was 27.5 sold.
Yep.
We had an 06 Mini Cooper GP on Bring a Trailer. You predicted 17, I predicted 15. I was pretty soft on it. It actually sold for 25. So even though you won that, we were both way the hell off.
Way off. We're off.
The 94 Viper on Bring a Trailer was you predicted 43. I was very soft on that car. My prediction was 35, and it sold for 38.5. So that was the only one that I won. The 06 Lotus Elise on Cars and Bids, you predicted 29.9. I predicted 28.9, and we were both very close. It was 31.789. You won that one. An 83 Porsche 911 SC Cab on Bring a Trailer. We both liked this car, but it was horribly represented and just the worst ad we've seen. And that's really why we discussed the car more than anything. You predicted 28. I predicted 27. I believe that both of us predicted that it wouldn't sell, and it did not. It was bid up to 29,911. So that was yesterday's. That was kind of a recap really quick.
You were the one that said that car wouldn't sell, and you were correct. And that the listener never answered any of the comments on Bring a Trailer, which is a
big no-no.
That's a big sin. Yeah, it's a
big
sin.
no-no. If you want to sell your car in Cars and Bids or Bring a Trailer, make sure you are there and present, especially engaged. Yeah, especially at the end of on the last day of your auction when you're getting close to the actual, when people are really starting to bid. That's really important. All right, well, cool. We've got some really cool cars to make predictions on today. We'll see which one of us does better tomorrow. I'm hoping we even this out a little bit. I need a big day to bring the week back. Let's start with the cars. Which car do you want to begin with?
Let's start on Cars and Bids. We have just this really cool 1994 BMW 850 CSI. This car is offered to us out of Encino, California. Doug Demuro mentions candidly that this seller, Alec Cartillo, has sold a couple of 850 CSIs on Cars and Bids before. He seems to have found another incredible car. 37,000 miles. The 850 CSI has a 5.6 liter V12 with a manual 6-speed. Basically, this was the M8 that was never called an M8. So a little bit more horsepower, a little stiffer suspension, built-in rare numbers, and offered with a manual transmission. This car is beautifully done in diamond black, which I believe is a metallic black color and a black leather interior. 850s in general have been gently moving in the right direction, but 850 CSIs have taken off. I believe if this car was on Bring a Trailer, it would come closer to like $140,000, maybe even higher. 150 or 160 might not be out of the question for a black-on-black stick with under 50,000 miles. Beautiful car, a couple of modifications, Dynan exhaust and Dynan chip, bringing horsepower to 400 and torque to 450. JP, this car actually moves. I believe the stock exhaust is included with the sale. Out of Encino, California, a collectible and drivable and beautiful 850 CSI.
Yeah, not only that, the seller took the time to photograph this car very, very well. And I believe that will translate into dollars for that seller at the end of this auction. What a spectacular car. It really ticked me off how long did this car go to? What year did they make these until?
Oh, I think this 94 might be the last year, maybe 95.
Yeah.
That's it.
Remember when we seem to reference James Bond pretty often here. When they brought the Z3 out in, what was it, 95, 96?
Yeah.
The model
Pierce
year
Brosnan.
95, but it was, I mean, this really should have been the car that James Bond, if they wanted to switch BMW, if they wanted to get rid of Austin and replace James Bond's car with BMW, this should have been the car, and it was not. Where is this car out of again?
Encino, California.
Encino. God, just look at that picture. That is really the way you're supposed to do this.
The lights in this shot, the photographer uses them, captures them all over the paint of the car. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it
very,
really
very
does.
good shots.
It really does. All right, so what's your bid?
Okay, so this car is at $100,000, but interestingly, only on 9 bids. Which is reason to pause because, again, I think this is a $140,000 car, but on Cars and Bids today, I'm going to guess $128,000, and it sells there.
So the 850 being the 12-cylinder, are these stronger, do you think, than the 8-cylinder, the 840 CI with a manual? I mean, which one would you rather have? I think the 12 is probably worth more, but I think the 8 has got to be the car to be the driver, right?
But see, this is a CSI, so it's got M-tune suspension, it's got a manual transmission. They are heavy, and none of them are going to handle. Even an 840 CSI with a manual isn't going to handle any better. So this is the stiffest suspension you can get. This is the fastest motor, and this is the most collectible. So this is probably the one I would want, knowing that it's a Grand Tour and not a sports car.
Didn't the 840 have a CSI version?
Yep. But it didn't save a ton of weight. Didn't make the car handle any better.
But it made it way, 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 way more reliable.
That's possible.
I guess that's what I'm looking at, and maybe that's just because where I'm at in the world. Reliability is one of those things that I actually, if I owned a car like this, I'm driving it. So it's got to get across the desert from Las Vegas, where I'm at, to go and see you. And I don't know if there's no way I would even attempt to do that in a 12-cylinder car. All right. So I'm sorry. What was your bid?
$128,000.
$128,000. Yeah, I'm with you. That's actually, I was going to say 124, so I'm going to stick with that and say it climbs another basically 24, 25. So yeah, 124 is my bid.
Listen, in this time frame, McLaren was making the F1, and so in essence, this is a 12-cylinder manual transmission sports car with the BMW V12, like the McLaren used. This was your poor man's F1. So there you go. And these cars
unbelievably beautiful car. Great color combo too, by the way.
Yep.
All right, next car. What do we got?
Jumping over to Bring and Trailer, we have located at Houston, Texas, a beautiful 1973 Porsche 911T that was sold at a Porsche Audi dealer in Monterey, California. This car has essentially been in one family its entire life and sports a documented original 26,000 miles. Now, 911Ts are an interesting car, a model for Porsche in this era. Around the world, most Ts used carburetors, and then Es used cheap fuel injection, and then Ss used MFI, the mechanical fuel injection. In the United States, Es and Ss used MFI, and Ts used the cheaper fuel injection so that they could pass emissions and still, operate smoothly. The final year of 73s, I don't want to get into it. Anyways, very nice car, all original, beautiful Bahia red, not too many modifications, no stories, no dings, and really well looked after. This car has received a Classic Technical Certificate inspection from the Porsche Classic dealer in North Houston. So all the parts and components on this car are verified by imported out of Germany through this process, which requires to take a car to the dealership. Just a really neat preservation award winner, if ever there was one. 1973 911T out of Houston, Texas.
Once again, very, very well photographed. Again, I think that's going to translate to dollars, especially on Bring a Trailer.
Yeah.
Bring a Trailer definitely gets a lot more eyeballs than Cars and Bids just now. And this car, gosh, so we do have a video coming out you guys can look for on our channel about taking pictures for your car to make sure that you get the most money for your car in Cars and Bids or Bring a Trailer. And I think these guys must have seen our video because this is really well done.
Yeah, clearly they used a studio, right, to take those shots down there.
The interior shots were absolutely done with in a studio for sure.
Yeah,
whereas the exterior stuff was just really nice. They shot it, against the light in the right way and everything. I mean, you even have like this one shot. Someone clearly knew what they were doing here. This is good stuff.
Yeah, awesome.
It's the first time I've ever seen a photo anywhere in Cars and Bids and Bring a Trailer where they allowed a human being in the shot. Usually they don't allow that.
It looks like a 70s album cover,
I know, right?
It's awesome.
Okay, so, of course, yes, also an absolutely beautiful, stunningly perfect car, 73, what a great year. Okay, so what's your bid?
Yeah, Houston, Texas. So here's the thing, JP. This car is sitting with 3.5 hours to go at $108,000. You can find a nice 911T for $60,000, a really nice one for $80,000. So at nearly $10,000, this car is already at the top of the market. That being said, find me another all-original 26,000 mile early 70s Porsche, and I'll show you another record to be broken. This car is basically going to go for twice what you can pick a regular one up for. So I'm going to say that I think this car is going to make it all the way up to $117,000. But it sits at $108,000, but interestingly, just on 5 bids. So is there action? Is there going to be a ton of action? I don't know. But,
So I'm sorry, you said 117?
117. But again, this car, if there's late action, this car could go to 130 easy.
Yeah, so does it go over? Boy, that is so much more than one would normally go for.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, boy, finding the right one. And I think a lot of people in California are sitting around. The thing is, some of these Porsche events in California, or all the car events in California, they're impromptu and they're blowing up because they're about the only social thing you're allowed to go to anymore. Right. 5 bids, though. That scares me. That makes me think that it's just a couple of guys. So I'll bid the under. I'll go 115.
All right. Very good.
Probably going to get beat up again. I do like the idea of going to Texas and getting this car and driving it back. Unlike maybe going to someplace like, I don't know, Boston or Massachusetts and driving a car back. I don't know what kind of moron would buy a car in Boston or in Massachusetts, buy a 40-year-old car. Oh, wait, that was you. You bought good Lord. What happened yesterday, Michael Deeb?
Idiot, party of one.
Before we go to the next car.
Yeah, I tested the boundaries of my marriage. My wife went to buy groceries, and I stayed home and bought a Mercedes 190E out of Needham, Massachusetts, from our friends at Copley Motor Cars, who, if you need a Defender, they are your people. They are the Defender dealers in the United States. Adam Check's a great guy, and they picked up from one of their collectors this beautiful 190 16-valve Cosworth that I love. I've had 2 of them, and I stepped all over my Johnson and bought that car. And then groveled when my wife got home. So we'll see. Maybe you'd like to come on a road trip with me, and we can bid nerd it next week from the road.
Our bid nerd episodes may be coming to you from frozen areas of the Northeast next week. There is a very, what I was thinking too. Our good friend Rami from the Rami Show. He has a Defender sitting in Connecticut right now. So maybe it's a twofer. Maybe we go and get that car and we have a follow car. That sounds like a much better car to drive across the country in the snow, right? It's a Land Rover Defender. Except that this one is a 2-wheel drive one. Rami removed the front diff so he could put a 700 horsepower something in this thing, LS swap deal. So now it's just going to be a donut-making Land Rover Defender. Stay tuned for morons and things they do with cars on Bid Nerds in the future. All right, let's move on to the next car, buddy.
All right, so staying on Bring a Trailer, but leaving the United States, we are going to go to West Northfield, Nova Scotia, Canada, because somebody up there is offering a 1978 Datsun 280Z. And this car has just 50,000 miles on it, and allegedly everything works. No cracks on the dash, the clocks, the lights, everything work. This is essentially another preservation car. JP, we covered a car about a couple weeks ago that was a 280Z out of the East Coast that had like 300 miles on it, and it broke $100,000, which was incredible. This car is going to be much closer to reality, and then there's the little problem of bringing it into the United States.
Hey, Michael, just real quick, is this the right car that we have
Yes,
on the screen? Can you see
that
the
is
screen?
the correct
Okay,
car.
I'm just making sure, a little technical stuff, guys.
Yeah, that's it. That's our car. So 50,000 miles, beautiful, largely original condition. The big thing is getting the car across the border, which should be easy into most states in the lower 48. But there you go, a beautiful 280Z, which are moving in the right direction. This car has had a little bit of action. It's on 19 bids and sitting at $1,250 with an hour and 15 minutes to go. What do you think, JP? I'm bringing a car from Nova Scotia.
Yeah, I think that's nearly impossible right now, especially in the Northeast. I don't know. From what I'm hearing, there are some very, very big challenges. You're definitely not doing it on your own. It is good that it's a 24-hour, or I'm sorry, it's over 25 years, so you can actually do it yourself technically if you have the right paperwork. But it means like hanging out at the border for a day possibly or more if you do all the paperwork ahead of time, which means sitting in a hotel and doing what exactly for how long? No restaurants open and it's freezing out. Yeah, I mean,
Watching old episodes of Bit Nerds, of course.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what you need to spend all your time doing. What a cool-ass looking car, though. We took a drive the other day over Sandy Pass here in Las Vegas in the Porsches. There was like 4 of us in Porsches, and one of these kind of was trying to keep up, and he was having a grand old time. Really cool car.
Awesome.
It was kind of a beige one. But, I think the crossing the border challenge is exactly that and is going to whether or not people realize how big a problem that is does this affect the value? I think a lot of people bid on stuff thinking, it won't be that big a deal until they try it. So what do you think? What's your bid on this?
Well, it's interesting. Reading the comments, there is a groundswell of support from local Canadians trying to keep this car in Canada, which I think is hilarious. And at $13,000, that price is pretty reflective of the fact that nobody in the United States wants to go through the trouble of bringing it in. This car should be $20,000 and probably stretch itself to 25 or 30 if it were located, somewhere down here. So I'll give a quick shout out to my friend Chachi Ramirez, who's in Nitmo near Santa Barbara in California, who is currently restoring a 280Z. Chachi, here's your parts car. But anyways, I think this car is going to struggle. I think it's going to peter out at $19,000. It will sell for that, but this car should have brought 30.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know. Breaking 20 is going to be tough, I think, on this car. But there sure is a lot of action. I agree with you. If it were here, it'd be a whole different story. Hell, I mean, I'm just blowing it this week already, so I'm going to go over on you and say 21.
All right.
Just for giggles, Here's a little driving video for you guys. All right.
Yeah, it looks like a nice car.
Okay, moving on. What's next?
So let's say I bring a trailer. Here's no reserve 2002 Ford Thunderbird with just 4,000 miles. I hate these cars. I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of time, but I never liked them. Somebody down there makes fun and says, here come the armchair quarterbacks that say if Ford had put 400 horsepower in a stick, they would have sold more of these. And he goes, that's ridiculous thinking. I actually think like that. So that guy is calling me out. The styling was great, but the cars don't go. It looks like a Grand Tour or a sports car, and it drives like a rental car. So they never sold very well. It was not a commercial success. The wheels are ugly. And this car is in perfect condition, and it's sitting at $22,000 out of Portland, Oregon, a 4,000-mile 2002 Ford Thunderbird, no reserve. This car is selling. JP, this looks like a dog bowl to me. I would put kibble in it and feed my animals. It's just garbage. I hate this car.
I agree with you that it is garbage, but I don't agree with you that it looks terrible. I think this car really does look beautiful, and I can't believe I'm saying that about an early aughts Ford. The wheels are absolutely hideous. I'm with you.
They're terrible.
Terrible.
I
mean, but if they were just not chrome, it would make all the difference in the world. I think this was a pretty bold design move for Ford at the time. Ford is not exactly known for taking big risks. Wow, you want to talk about hideous wheels? Now those are hideous. He's got some aftermarket chrome wheels on here. This person deserves to be drawn and quartered. That hard top with the round window in the back that harkens back to the original car.
Yeah, I think this car. Windows.
Yeah, look, it does drive like a rental, and I think that's exactly what this car should have been. Is something in. I mean, you here in Vegas, you see convertible 6-cylinder Mustangs everywhere because when it's a nice day and you come from somewhere like Kansas right now, and you come to Vegas, you're like, I'm getting a convertible and I'm going to drive it around. Why not? Do you remember the commercial for this car when it came out? It's a classic commercial, and that's why I chose this car. Actually, I should have brought up the commercial. I should have had that on queued up. But it was a very classic commercial at the time that broke a lot of ground. It had a guy out in the middle of nowhere, and he slowly rolls up to an intersection. And it's the desert, the tumbleweed, whatever. And he's a good-looking guy. He's kind of a George Clooney-looking dude with the white shirt and the black jacket. And he's obviously lost. He's looking left. He's looking right. And then this muscle car pulls up next to him. I don't know what it was, like a Barracuda or something like that. And it's got some rocker dude in there, and he's got his chick in there. And the guy's like revving his engine. Rum, rum. The chick is just like, oh God. And he looks at the girl and just says, get out. And so she rolls her eyes, gets out. She takes her scarf off, does the classic drag race thing. She stands between the two cars. You got the shot with the nose of the two cars looking at the camera and her butt in the camera, right? She holds the scarf up, drops it. You see the wheels spin on the muscle car and smoke and everything, and he takes off and he just leaves her in the dust. And as the smoke clears, you see the muscle car going way down the road, and they've got a close up on the girl, and she's standing there. She's looking at the car taking off. She turns around, and the guy in the Ford just slowly rolls up to her and says, "Need a ride?" And the girl gets in the car, and he takes a right and just leaves. So, they knew that this car wasn't fast to begin with. They never gave a shit, right? That was the whole point. This car is to look cool and to chill and to pick up broads, apparently. I don't know what the hell. So you got to hand it to Ford to take that stake. I will say very quickly that we made a knockoff commercial for a Volkswagen dealership in the Northwest where we took a Volkswagen Beetle, and we put a guy in the driver's seat of the convertible Beetle. He was this really good-looking guy, and we had two girls drive up in a hot rod in a turbo Beetle. They were like two really hot lipstick lesbians, and it was the exact same setup. We had the one girl get out, she does the thing, the turbo Beetle takes off, and the guy drives up, and he's like, "Need a ride?" Yeah, anyways, it was loud.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Good time. So that's the long ass story for a very underwhelming car. I am shocked that it's as high as it is. What's your bid? Do you have a bid number for this thing?
Yeah. So this car is already way over book. The 4,000 miles, largely one family ownership. Basically, the consignor bought the car off the original owner last month, and is just flipping it here. I still think that there's Ford people out there that think this is a collectible, and I'm going to guess $27,500 is where this car peters out because it's got action. It's on 17, 18, 19 bids or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely in the right place. You do not see these with low miles. Usually they're really beat up, and they're under a trailer park overhang or whatever. What was your bid?
27,500.
27. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's only 5,000 to go to get there with 3 hours, and there's a lot of action. Hell, I'll go. Man, I'm gonna go over you on this one. I'm gonna lose my ass on this one too and go 29. Just
oh my God.
Hoping that some Ford person just really loves this car. I would never pay that much for this thing. But there it is.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Moving on. Yeah, we're going to jump back over to cars and bids. And the car of the day that I thought we were going to spend a lot of time on is this unbelievable aberration. We are looking at a 2000 AM General Hummer H1 four-door open top with a salvage title that, upon being reclaimed from the bank, was repaired and converted into a camper. And I'm not just talking to camper shell people. This thing has an awning, a queen-size mattress, a 2-burner gas stove, I think running water. I was waiting for this guy to tell me it had a bowling alley in it. This is unbelievable. Talk about a unicorn. If you want to go off the grid and go into the forest to do your glamping, you can go no further than you can go in this car. With just 57,000 miles, this has got to be a one-of-one, a working camper, livable Hummer H1 that Doug Demuro is losing his mind over. He wants to own this car really bad. And it seems to be under market value at $36,000 on 15 bids out of El Cajon, California. El Cajon, which literally translates to the Cajon. So there you go.
Is that really how it's pronounced, Cajon?
I think so.
Cajon.
Yeah.
Wow, talk about
Cajon.
getting off grid and doing the zombie apocalypse thing. This thing is your rig, man. The only thing that kind of bugs me is there's no pass through between the cabin and the actual camper area. So if you're being chased by the zombies and you have people in the back, the zombies could climb up over and pull this whole camper top off. So they take all the people in the back and the people in the front are kind of screwed. I don't know, or maybe it's vice versa. Yeah, I'm thinking of all the wrong details here. I love this thing. I want it. I mean, I can see why Doug Demuro wants this thing with the current state of the world. I don't know where I'd park it. I think I have a 7.5, 8 foot height limit in our parking garage here in the high rise downtown. So I don't know, man.
Right.
Golly, what's your bid? Do you have a bid on this thing?
I do. It's so funny when I pulled it up, JP. I was like, oh, he wants this car. He really wants this car.
I do.
Yeah. It's at $36,000. It's got some action at 15 bids. I don't really think the salvage title is hurting it that much. I imagine this thing is going to sell. Yeah. So I still think it's going to make another $6,000. I'm going to go $42,000, and I might be high, but where are you going to find another campable, water burner Hummer? I know, that's amazing. The detail on this car is incredible.
What was your bid? Was 42?
42,000.
Yeah, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go high. I'm going to go 47 on this one. I could just go over on you and just try to beat you there, but I'm giving you a fighting chance.
Thanks, man.
I would live in this. I would probably trade one of my 911s for this thing for sure. I don't know which one, but take your pick. I don't know. Super badass Doug Demuro.
You would live in that?
I would. I don't know if my wife would be down for it, but I don't know. The way things are going lately, maybe. Okay, well, there it is. We've got some great vehicles today. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for listening to our crazy dumb stories, or at least mine. Bring a trailer. Cars and bids are great places to sell your car. This is a great channel to find out what cars are doing on Cars and Bids and Bring a Trailer, but not really a good channel to find out any really useful information.
Not from us.
Just hang out with us. Give us your thoughts. We'd love to hear what you think about our predictions. Are we way off? Are we right on the money? Let us know what your predictions are. Let us know what cars you want us to review. We'd love to hear from you guys, and we'd love to review cars that our audience would like to hear our opinions about. We are here every day during the 9 o'clock hour live on Facebook, and then up on the YouTube machine. You can follow us on all the Instagrams and YouTubes and Facebooks, and we encourage you to do so. Hit the like button, subscribe. Please share. We are a brand new channel, and we really need your help to get the word out. We're having a good time, and we'd like you to join us every day and have a good time with us because it's a lot of fun. Michael Deeb, anything to say before we move on to tomorrow?
No, JP.
Oh, wait. I do have a slight announcement. I have an announcement. We've got a couple of guests coming on. Tomorrow, so tomorrow's show will be normal during the 9 o'clock hour, but tomorrow afternoon, I think around 2 o'clock-ish, we're going to have Dwayne Wick from Wick's Garage join us. And we are going to do a live viewing party on the Patrick Motorsports 911 that's sitting over at Bring a Trailer. So join us around 2:15 or so, and we'll watch that thing go live and see what that that does.
The third nerd.
We will have a
Dwayne
third
Wick.
nerd, yeah. And
Dwayne
then
Wick.
our friend Cameron Vanderhorst might be joining us this week. He may be joining us next week, but we're going to try to get him on probably Thursday or Friday as a third nerd guest. And he is a writer for all kinds of stuff, everything from Jalopnik to he's a big Corvette guy. He's a young millennial who's into Corvettes. How awesome is that?
Did he hit his head? Is he all right?
Well, he is one of the founders of Radwood, so we're going to bring him on board and get his opinions, and he can basically wipe the floor with us because he knows I don't know how old the kid is, but he's half our age and knows twice as much. So I don't know how that
That's
works.
awesome.
All right, so look for that kind of stuff, and we will see you guys tomorrow right here on the Bid Nerds. Thanks, guys.
All right. Awesome.